Hello guys, welcome back to another update video. It's been a while since we've done an actual update video, since DvD 1 was officially released. So we've got a couple of things what I'd like to go through. And there's actually quite a lot of things to go through. So DvD 2 is complete, however it is not currently released. I'm waiting for my Game Crafter package to get delivered to me. Have a quick flick through it, do a pack opening video. Well, the video will be uploaded after the release, but I will be going through the cards, making sure that they look okay and everything. And then we will have the official trailer released, which is complete and ready. I'm just waiting for this parcel delivery to be delivered to me, and then we can officially get DvD Part 2 out on the Game Crafter and eventually updated onto Untap. So DvD 2 is bringing another 100 cards to the game. So we're going to have about 612 cards in total to Wrath of Khoz. So there's quite a lot of cards to choose from when it comes to playing online. And of course these cards are all getting updated onto Untap as well, which is going to take a couple of days to get everything on. And complete and ready for you guys to utilise. So yeah, waiting for that delivery, and then as soon as you guys see the trailer up, it will be officially released. So, first update. You guys have been asking for a database. Well, we have a database. It's not the best, but it works. So, as you can see on screen here now, let me just move my camera around, if it will let me. So, if you go onto the wrathofkhoz.com website, there's a link on there somewhere which will bring you to this database. It's the same person who made Chaos Galaxy's database, and it works. You know, you can filter by royalty rare, you can filter by, I don't know, commons if you wanted commons. Well, technically commons and uncommons come under the same thing, but that'll just filter out the uncommons, and pretty much every single card in the database in the game is actually up on the database. I mean, even the angels from the extra set what got released after DvD 1. And everything is on there. You can filter by sets. You can just filter for the new Halo set if you wanted. Obviously the angels. The DvD will be updated with DvD 2 shortly, but we do have the first half of DvD on there, and obviously we can search by the cause. So that's really, you guys have been asking for a database for a long time now, so we have finally got around to creating a database for the game. So I'm really glad we've got that going. It's what you guys have been asking for, it's what you guys have got. Secondly, the YouTube page has had a little minor adjustment, nothing great, but I've just been tinkering around with the YouTube channel. So we've got the live streams at the top, the latest tournament, second hand down. We've got the new subscriber panel, which the one on the right will be getting deleted at some point this month. So we've got all the as many people. Well, there's more to add, but I've got a lot of the popular guys on there. And then obviously we've got DvD set 3, WAE set 2, tutorials, popular videos, blah de blah de blah. So yeah, the YouTube page has had a little bit of an update on there as well. Moving on, we've got the Challonge website. So if you guys have been following the recent live streams, we had a micro tournament which contained 8 people, and it's over. PDF, surprise surprise, won the prize pool. It's a $25 gift card for the Game Crafter. I know it's nothing great, but you know, I'm just one guy, you know, working for a living. Now we are going to be having more tournaments added. The first set of tournaments, or the next lot of tournaments what I want to add into the game, are going to be even smaller, to try and bring people into the community. So we've got a community on screen now which is called Wrath of Khoz TCG. So if you guys haven't already, be sure, and you want to join into these tournaments, be sure to go into the challonge.com website and then search for the Wrath of Khoz community. It's literally one button to follow, and once you're in, it will start saving your statistics onto the community. So whenever I host a tournament under the community name, you guys will start like logging your statistics and your wins and your losses on this community page. So it's well worth a check out. And of course, if you want to get into the game or you want to start playing some friendly tournaments and stuff like that, we will. It's definitely worth joining. Now we are going to be adding some more tournaments, and like I said a minute ago, I'm going to be creating some smaller, more so like 4-player tournaments where we can try and get them down in a matter of 1 or 2 days. We will try and organise a day where everybody can be free and jump in. There will be a lot faster. It'll just be best of one, like best of one elimination. So we can just player versus player, then the winner moves on. Then the next seed, player versus player, moving on, and then you'll have the third game to determine the winner. And although these are going to be quick, that we can actually customise the tournaments as well. So we're going to be having there's currently 3 main formats of the game, and we've been playing half HP because of how long some games can last. So we've got a couple of formats in mind, such as anti-set formats. So you could just play a format where it's just DvD and or WAE. You could, if you don't like the GVE cards because there's people using too many of them, we can just remove GVE out of the format and just have the 2 latest sets. We could even have a game of Pauper or something like that where it's just commons only besides your core. We can do many things. PDF, TCG, he wants his own format and he will get his own format. He's given me a list of cards. Fair enough, it comes with a ban list, and I'm not a fan of ban lists, as anyone will tell you that. But PDF has created his own format with, I think it's got 3 cards banned in the entirety of the format. And he will get it. If you guys want to join his format, we will by all means create his format for the tournaments, and he will be hosting them. He will be, maintaining these games and stuff like that. And that's what I want this game to be. More than just me running the tournaments. If you guys want, by all means, you can have your own Challonge website and you can play my game on them. By all means, go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna slam you with any any copyright infringements or anything like that. I'm a cool guy. So be sure to go and jump on the Challonge website. If I will be throwing more tournaments up on the website because of the 4-player thing. Is keep an eye out for them. I'm not going to be blasting them all over the show on all forms of social media. The second you see a Challonge tournament live and it's not reached capacity, join in. Go and tell people you want to play with. Jump in. And the smaller, another note as well, the smaller tournaments, they're not going to have a prize pool of money. We're going to try and get like a trophy system for the ones I host anyway on the wrathofcause.com website, and we're going to have about 5 trophies, 1 trophy for each format, and the winner of the previous game for that format will put his name against that trophy. So obviously then, if somebody wins one of the trophies, it will encourage them to defend that trophy on the website. So we really are going to be knuckling down on a lot of these different trophies and flexibility and variety in the game. So it's something really cool for you guys to keep an eye out for. I've rambled on enough about tournaments anyway. So yeah, link is in the description. Go and follow that Wrath of Cause community on the Challonge website. We want to get more games. We want more live streams and stuff like that. We want to be just as active as the Chaos Galaxy. Everybody wants to be as active as the Chaos Galaxy community. And it's a hard thing to do, don't get me wrong. But you jumping in tournaments and stuff, not only is it good for me, but it's good for you guys as well to get your name out there. Go and do it. Moving on. Gamecrafter. So DvD 2 is, like I said, in the works. We're going to be seeing a new deck, which is going to be full of goblins. It's a new race, a new archetype for the game. It's a lightweight deck to play. It seems to be very easy. Obviously, I need to get it and play a few with myself before releasing it, but it looks really cool. We've got some brand new artwork coming into the game, and not tooting my own horn, but I think the artwork has improved since the last two sets. If you're on the Discord channel, you might already see some of the new artworks and teasers and stuff like that coming. So the new deck will be coming up on the Game Crafter. The Golden Booster Pack is being updated. You will notice that these things are currently not available on the Game Crafter at the moment because I'm working through updating them with all the new DvD 2 cards. So DvD, the Booster Pack for DvD has been updated. The Golden Booster Pack has been updated. The new deck for DvD 2 has been created and updated, and it's all on there on the Game Crafter. So when we get a release, we will release everything on the Game Crafter for you guys to have a look at. The booster box has now been changed. It's no longer WAE set 2. It is now set 3 with DVD cards. And instead of having one golden booster pack, there will now be 2 golden booster packs in the booster box. So, like I said, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of updates coming with DVD Part 2. There was something else about DVD 2, but it's just leaked out the side of my brain, so I can't remember that now. Finally, game rules update. There's 3 or 4 game rule updates, and I will eventually get around to creating an almighty big document full of every single bit of ruling. It's just time, patience and time and everything what I need to work through. It's ridiculous. But the start trigger, so some cards you will see at the start of your turn, it does something. This now triggers at the very beginning of the start phase. It used to be at the end of the start phase. It's now at the very beginning of the start phase, before you generate elements and before you draw a card. That is that. What's the other one? Ambush ability. You can only use the ambush ability on the battle phase before the damage is about to be distributed. So you can hard cast the card on your main phase, but it won't have that haste effect where it attacks on the same turn. If you play that unit in the main phase, it will just be a regular unit, a regular cast, and it cannot attack on the same turn. If you play it during the battle phase, which is what the ambush ability allows you to do, it allows you to get the jump on your opponent, then you can only play this ambush ability before the damage is distributed. So you can play it after you've declared attackers, you can play it after your opponent has declared defenders, but as soon as them dice are rolled, that's it. You can't play it after that. So always play it after your opponent has chosen, or that's probably the best time to play it, after your opponent has chosen their attackers or defenders. So that's just a little update with the ambush ability. It cannot be utilised on the main phase. You can just hard cast it basically onto the main phase, and it won't gain that attack on the same turn ability. What else was there? Gaining control of named units. So as you guys know, named units such as Iris, Ella, Rhaenys, anything with a comma in its name is a named unit, and you can only have one of them under your control at a time. Now, one question we had recently was, if I have an Ella in play, and your opponent has an Ella in play, and then you wanted to play Gauntlet of Restraint, which allows you to gain control of a unit, what happens then? Can you own 2 Ellas? No, you can't. So the rule of only having one under your control at a time is a big permanent thing. If you try to control the opponent's Ella while you've already got one, she will be classed as an invalid target, so you cannot target her with anything what has the effect of gaining control. So you would have to target another unit which you don't already own or have in control in play currently at the time. If you gain control of an Ella or a named unit, bring it into your play, and then you've got one in your hand, you still cannot play the one in your hand until the one in play under your control has been dealt with. Nice, simple, easy to play rules. Nothing game changing. You can only have one in play at a time, regardless. They just become invalid targets if they're on your opponent's field. Okay, what else? Let's get my phone. Ambush ability, start trigger. Last one is elements. Throughout the tournament, we did notice a problem with, not a problem, but a situation with elements. And the question was stacking temporary elements. Now, I'm not going to go through what happened and how it happened, because it'll just take too long for me to explain, and this video is getting quite long. But there's going to be, this is obviously some advanced ruling for the guys who play it a lot, so if you don't play the game a lot or you're not that fussed about advanced rules, you might as well just cut the video here, because this is going to take me a couple of minutes just to run through. So, your terrain generates an element. In the bottom right corner, that will tell you what colour element that terrain generates in your start phase. That printed element on the bottom of that card is called a base element. This means that terrain will generate that element on itself, however they do not stack. For example, a volcano will generate a red element. Just remember that that's a base element. Now, sometimes you will get cards such as a Golden Nugget. It's an action card where you pay 1 white, and in return you get 3 white in return. It's like Dark Ritual in Magic the Gathering. These are temporary elements, something that has caused you to generate an element, but they're just kind of floating around in the battlefield. They're not assigned to any terrain card or anything like that. They're just there, you know, floating around. Now, same again. The rule stays the same for these temporary elements. You need to use them by the end of your turn. If you don't use them by the end of your turn, they're gone. They just dissipate. They disappear. You won't be able to use them after your turn ends. That's it. Nothing changed with the temporary elements. Now, the third one is the one that's going to fix the most current situation. Say you put a relic or a unit on top of your terrain, and it adjusts the amount of elements what that terrain generates. So let's say you've got a gemstone, a ruby gemstone. The text on this card says the terrain here generates an extra red element. So this relic is adjusting the terrain's generation of elements. So, come your next start phase, your terrain will generate whatever colour its base element, and then it will then generate an extra red element. Now, this is called a semi-base element because the terrain has technically generated the element, but it's been caused by a third-party card, which is the relic, the gemstone. Now, these elements used to be classed as a temporary element, but now they're going to be classed as semi-base elements. These elements do not dissipate at the end of your turn like how a normal temporary element would. So they will stay on your terrain through your opponent's phase and then come back to your main phase. Obviously, it still follows the regular ruling of generation, where if that element is still on that terrain and it's never been utilised in your previous turn, they do not stack. So the relic will not generate an extra red element. It will just stay on. It will just stay, just like how a base element. They are very similar elements. The only difference is the source of where it's come from. So semi-base and base elements are, you know, they generate at the start of your turn, judge if they were used previously in the previous turn. They do not stack, and they do not dissipate at the end of your turn. That is a semi-base element. Same goes for a unit what says the terrain here generates an extra whatever element. Those elements will stay on that terrain card, but the cool thing is the unit can move. Every turn units can move to the adjacent terrain. So those elements will, because they are semi-base elements, they will stay on that terrain, on that stack until you utilise them. That is going to cause a problem for your opponent, because the caster, the person who had the unit, will still have them at his disposal, and all he's done he's moved a unit to an adjacent terrain, which obviously will cause that terrain to trigger the unit's ability once again. So that is the elements update. Also, just a very quick one on the elements. If you get something what says generate an element of the same colour, and you have put that on a rainbow terrain, which means that the terrain such as a gem cave can generate an element of any colour. If it says generate an element of the same colour, then it must match the colour you chose for that rainbow terrain. If it's just got generate an element of the terrain generates an extra element, then you get to choose two separate colours if you would so choose. Like for example, you could have your gem cave could generate a red and a blue. But if a third party card, the relic or the unit, however, says that it must be the same colour, then if you choose red for your rainbow element, then the second extra semi-base element should also be red. Right guys, so we're at 20 minutes already now, and I'm going to cut this video because I would be surprised if anybody actually got to the end of this video. So yeah, DvD 2 is very close. We will be releasing the video, the trailer for it, very soon. And we do have a lot of really nice cards coming in as well. Blue is also getting a nice little buff as well, which is nice to see. Right guys, thanks very much. Don't forget to check out the Challonge website and the database. You guys have been asking for it, and we have them. I will see you in my next video, hopefully when we do some unpacking of DvD Part 2. Thanks very much guys, I'll see you again.
Prepare to die.